This time we are going to begin our ordination ceremony. I want you to welcome Reverend Richard, Reverend Aileen, and Reverend Temple Hayes to our platform. Would you do that? Can you feel that energy?
Voice is the most important thing right now. All right. So this is indeed a day of celebration. So let's give it up for everybody. And before I introduce our candidates for ordination, I just want to say, as the Dean of Education for ILLLI, the Institute for Leadership and Lifelong Learning, which was established here at First Unity in 2018, I want to give a special thanks to our graduates this far. So I would like to be honored Reverend Sandra Kitt, if you would please stand up, and Reverend Carolyn Ballinger, who went through our program, and I'd also like to, our board president, Dr. Don Elder, to stand, be recognized. And all the other board members are past board members who were instrumental in the creation of our institute. Could you please stand, be recognized, be honored? Thank you. So the idea for ILLLI was to create a lifelong learning program, a spiritual education program for all of us, so we could go at a more self-paced, as opposed to signing up, taking courses, sometimes in the more traditional way. It was designed for busy working professionals who necessarily can't show up on a Thursday or a Friday or whatever at a set time. So the whole idea of the Institute was also to ignite and to open the heart of the world. The visionary and the person who was behind this idea is Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, and I'd like her to be honored here. We always lovingly say she was the one that birthed the baby. I was the midwife who brought it into creation. And if I seem nervous, it is indeed, as you know, birth is as Reverend John reminds us, is in itself, can be a difficult labor of love. And so I would like to acknowledge our candidates right now. And I'm going to ask the AV if you could please project the one candidate who could not join us today. And she is watching with her family and her spiritual community in the San Antonio area of Texas. And so we want to send our love and blessings to, this is Jennifer Birdie Shocker, who had every intention of being with us today, but due to other circumstances was unable to travel. But I have already sent her diploma and her letter of completion. So now I'd like to introduce the other three who are with us here present. So in any particular order, so maybe I'll begin with Ruth. So I'd like Ruth Curran, if you wouldn't mind stepping forward to the center of the stage. Just stand maybe a little towards the left.
There's the teacher.
I know. And then this is Karen Bailey. And by the way, Ruth is all the way from Colorado with her husband, Dan, who joined her. Karen Bailey, next from the great state of Maine, who I understand is joined here with your wife, right?
Yes.
Correct. Kelly, wherever you are, if you'd like to raise your hand and be honored and recognized. And last but not least, we have Cindy Klein, who comes to us from Unity of Houston. All right, so I'm going to handle the academic portion. And so in academia, as you know, the journey, you had many choices, graduates. You could have chosen many routes to become an ordained minister. You chose the Institute for Leadership and Lifelong Learning, ILLI. You chose it for whatever reasons resonated with your heart. But I want to explain to the audience that they have gone through probably 18 months to 2 years of continuing education courses that covered prayer, ministry, but not just filling their heads with knowledge, but developing yourselves very deeply, letting go of the limiting beliefs about yourselves so that you can step into spiritual leadership and be that for other people. And I especially want to recognize Reverend Christy Hardwick, who's with us here today, because she created many of the courses on daily. If you'd like to stand as well. And also Reverend Carolyn Lane, she was helped me, the Dean of Admissions, right? Yes, please stand. And if there's anybody else I forgot. So this cord is called an honor cord, and it represents your academic completion of all of the requirements. The blue symbolizes the blue of ILLI, but it also symbolizes the blue for the throat chakra, always reminding you as spiritual leaders to always speak your truth without blame and judgment. And the blue also represents continuing education. So education derives from the Latin word educe, which means to just simply ignite that is within you, and that you may always continue to be lifelong learners. The white symbolizes always be open to everything, attached to nothing, and always continue to learn and grow. This is not the ending, it's just the beginning, the commencement. They have completed somewhere in the range of about 24 different courses. They have had about 30 hours individually of combined mentorship with Reverend Temple Hayes. They have really taken their time to go deep within. And so now I'd like to honor your accomplishment and your achievement by placing this cord over you, that you will always remember this day, remember the connection. So I'd like to begin with symbolically, maybe the audience could help me with Birdie is her nickname that we call her. This is Birdie Shocker. So we acknowledge you, Birdie, for the successful completion of all of your courses. Never complaining, by the way, but still just keeping the course going. And for all of our graduates today, you stayed the course, you completed, and you are to be congratulated.
In the 80s, there was a profound quote that I live by, I know you do, that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Many of you weren't born then. I think it's because of that quote that you incarnated now. Because it's been an evolution. Because used to, back in the day of the student, we would look for the teacher. What we practice in ILLI is the development of the individuation of God, in that you are not only the student, you are the teacher simultaneously. And so you find and discover, instead of, as Dr. Aileen said, beyond book knowledge, you find and discover the inner self-reliant spirit, which was the original idea of New Thought in the first place, is to be self-reliant. To find a place within yourself, regardless of external, that you are home. And that is the place of the divine anchoring, that in your work, as you are guided, without compartmentalizing, because ministry can be in the grocery line, okay? And it can be behind a desk, and it can be here on a platform. But I ask you 2 or 3 questions, and if you agree, just simply say, I will. Will you allow God to guide you on this mighty mission that we call life? Will you remember always to resurrect yourself to the place that is vibrant, that allows that plant to break through the cement, that allows the energetic you to divinely be filled with the grace of God? Will you remember first and foremost that the relationship you have with you equals simultaneously at all times the relationship of God, the divine, Yahweh, divine mind flowing through you? Will everybody stand, please? Reverend John, if you'd come join us in the circle. We are going to place the stole on you. Bless the Holy Presence. Reverend John is blessing you inside, giving you that beautiful energetic presence, that love, and that grace.
And Jennifer. And we also symbolically,
And with
and
Jennifer
as well. I know her family are with her.
And
so-
she also teaches at Unity of San Antonio and
Yes.
several unities. And so will you hold out your hands then and bless in the consciousness these individuals and their journey, knowing that if a butterfly wing can be felt from Australia, the ripple effect you're having on each and every one of us is felt in our hearts. May you always lead with your heart. And so therefore, in the presence of God, we allow the great space called life to energize every person in this room. We claim that the dead are now rising. We claim that the living are thriving. We claim that there is an awakening, that healing is knowing that you are never broken. You are whole, you are holy, you are living in the place to activate the heart so the soul may live its mission. And your soul is on its mission. We bless you, we love you, we behold the Christ in you, and so it is. Yes.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And so now as I call your name, you will step forward. I would like to introduce you, and I will present your certificates. So in no particular order, let's do, you are now Reverend Jennifer Birdie Shocker. Let's congratulate
Reverend Jennifer
you.
Birdie Shocker.
All right, please step forward, Reverend Karen Bailey. No. No. And then now you may step off the stage. And let's congratulate Reverend Cindy Klein. And Reverend Ruth Curran. And so it is.
So it is.